Let me say something that might shake you at first. You need to become selfish. Not cold, not cruel, not self-absorbed, but intentional, protected, God-centered selfish. Because the version of you that keeps pouring to everybody else while running empty, that version is not holy. That version is not obedience. That version is burnt out, dressed up like kindness. And today, that ends. You were not created to be used, drained, overlooked, and forgotten. You were created with purpose, with assignment, with calling. And if you keep giving every piece of yourself away, you will have nothing left to give the purpose God actually placed inside you. Listen carefully. You cannot serve God fully if you are constantly abandoning yourself. Some of you have been taught that being good means saying yes to everything. That being Christian-like means tolerating everything. That being loving means sacrificing yourself until there's nothing left. But that's not biblical. Even Jesus stepped away. Even Jesus rested. Even Jesus said no. So why don't you? The world told you selfishness is bad. But let's redefine it today. Selfishness in its purest form is this: taking responsibility for your soul, your peace, your time, and your calling. That's not evil. That's wisdom. Because if you don't protect what God gave you, the world will consume it. Some of you are tired right now, not because life is too hard, but because you keep giving access to people who were never assigned to your life. You answer every call, reply to every message, show up for everyone. But when was the last time you showed up for you? When was the last time you sat in silence with God and said, Lord, what do you want from me? Not what people expect, not what feels comfortable, not what keeps everyone happy, but what God actually wants. Let's be real. If Jesus tried to please everyone, he would have never fulfilled his purpose. There were crowds waiting for him, and he still walked away to pray. There was people who wanted healing, and he didn't heal every single person. There was expectations placed on him, and he still followed God's timing, not people's demands. That's holy selfishness. He understood something powerful. Not every need is your assignment. Let that sink in. Just because someone needs you doesn't mean God called you to it. Some of you are carrying burdens that God never gave you. You are exhausted from fights that you were never meant to fight. Drained from relationships you were never meant to sustain. Stuck in cycles God already told you to leave. But you stayed because you didn't want to seem selfish. Let me free you today. You are not God. You cannot fix everyone. You cannot save everyone. You cannot carry everyone. And the moment you try to, you step out of your position and into pressure that was never meant for you. Some of you are drowning trying to keep others afloat. And God is saying, let go and let me be God. Being selfish means understanding your limits. It means saying, I love you, but I cannot destroy myself to prove it. That's not selfish. That's healthy. That's spiritual maturity. Nobody's coming to guard your peace for you. Nobody's going to wake up and say, let me protect your mind today. That's your job. And if you don't do it, chaos will. Some of you allow anything into your spirit. Negative conversations, toxic relationships, environments that will drain you. And then you wonder why you feel disconnected from God. You can't hear God clearly in noise. You can't feel peace in chaos. You can't grow in environments that constantly break you. So yes, you need to be selfish about your peace. Turn off what needs to be turned off. Walk away from what needs to be left behind. Set boundaries that makes people uncomfortable. Because your peace is not optional. It's necessary for your calling. Let's talk about boundaries. Because some of you think boundaries are rude. No, boundaries are obedience. Boundaries say, I know what God has entrusted me with, and I will not let it be mishandled. If you don't set boundaries, people will decide your limits for you. They will take your time, drain your energy, disrupt your focus. And then you'll sit there wondering why your life isn't moving forward. It's because you gave your energy to everything except your purpose. Being selfish means saying, no, I can't do that. No, I'm not available. No, that does not align where God is taking me. And you say it without guilt, without over-explaining, without apologizing for protecting what God gave you. Some of you don't have a people problem. You have a self-abandonment problem. You ignore your intuition. You silence your needs. You override your convictions just to keep the peace. But what kind of peace is it if you're the one losing yourself? God didn't call you to disappear. He called you to become. And you cannot become who God created you to be if you keep shrinking into places never designed for you. So yes, be selfish enough to choose yourself, not in pride, but in purpose. Let's get practical. You're trying to be everything for everyone else. The strong one, the helper, the encourager, the one who always shows up. But who pours into you? Who checks on you? Who restores you? And if the answer is no one, then you need to become selfish enough to fix that. Because exhaustion is not a badge of honor. Burnout is not a calling. Constant stress is not God's will for your life. Even God rested. So why are you running like you're not allowed to? Here's the truth. If you're not selfish about your time with God, the world will take it. You scroll instead of pray, rush instead of reflect, react instead of listen, and slowly you'll feel disconnected. Not because God left, but because you stopped choosing Him first. Being selfish means saying, before I give to anyone else, I will sit with God. Because your strength doesn't come from people. It comes from Him. And when you stay filled, everything else flows correctly. Let's be honest. When you become this version of yourself, some people won't like it. They'll say you changed. They'll say you're distant. They'll say you're selfish. And you know what? They're right. You did change. You stopped being available for dysfunction. You stopped tolerating disrespect. You stopped abandoning yourself. And the people who benefited from the lack of boundaries will always have a problem with your growth. But listen, everyone who leaves your life because you chose peace was never assigned to your purpose. Let them go. This isn't about becoming arrogant. This isn't about ignoring others. This is about alignment. God gave you a life, a calling, a mission. And if you keep living for everyone else, you'll miss it. You'll look up one day and realize you were busy being everything for everyone and never became who God called you to be. That's the real loss. So today, I need you to make a decision, not a weak one, not a temporary one, a real one, to stop apologizing for protecting your peace, to stop explaining your boundaries, to stop shrinking to keep people comfortable, and to finally Choose you. Because when you choose you the right way, you're actually choosing God. You're choosing alignment. You're choosing purpose. You're choosing obedience. So yes, be selfish. Be bold about it. Be intentional about it. Be unapologetic about it. Protect your mind. Guard your heart. Value your time. And walk in the calling God gave you like it matters. Because it does. And you do. Always have. Now act like it.